The Missoula Smokejumpers are a group of forest firefighters in Missoula, Montana, average age 35, who are trained to be ready in as little as 10 minutes to board an airplane and fly to remote, incipient forest fires. When they arrive, they parachute out at 3,000 feet with their gear, put out the fire, and hike back out. This is their jump gear. The suit is made of insulate, which gives them protection from the fire and heat, and the helmet and face mask is used for protection from the tree limbs if they get blown too close. The fire shelter you see below is made of aluminum foil and fiberglass cloth. And all firefighters carry one of these, which they can set up in 20 seconds if they are trapped by an oncoming forest fire. 220 firefighters have been credited as being saved by one of these devices. The aluminum reflects heat up to 1600 degrees to a survivable 150 to 200 degrees, which is like a dry sauna. This is their backpack, which they use to carry their gear out once the fire is out. It weighs up to 80 pounds, and they need to cover sometimes up to 10 miles to get to a service road. Once on the ground, the firefighters change into this gear. The shirt is made of Nomex, which is fire and heat resistant, and the spats are made of, or claps, are made of Kevlar for protection from chainsaw cuts and flames. The axe you see is called a Pulaski, named after Big Ed Pulaski, who was a firefighter back in 1910. He was a hero of the Big Blow-Up, which was a massive forest fire in Idaho, Montana, and Washington, which consumed 3 million acres and killed 85 people, including 78 firefighters. He was able to save 40 of his 45 men by leading them to a cave where the men sheltered while the fire passed.
However, they move kind of slow. I don't know if you've ever seen a mule move, but it's a very plod along pace. It could take those crews 2 to 3 weeks to get out to where that fire was. That point in time, usually one of two things had happened. Number one, our crews get out there, oh my gosh, we're so excited, like this is really my first fire, like this is gonna be great, this experience will be so good. They get out there, there's no fire anymore. It had burnt itself out. Or number two, they get out there, they're looking around, they're so excited, this is their first or second fire, it'll be a great experience. They were told, no, this is a pretty small fire. And they get there, and that fire is a lot bigger than they had originally expected because it had been given 2 or 3 weeks to continue to grow. Industrial sewing machines. Those are if the parachutes need to be patched, something like that. All of that can be done in here. And then once they're repaired, if they need it, they can be brought up here to be packed. So along those back tables, those are where the ram areas are packed. So it looks like a few of them are packing right now. And then up here, those round parachutes are packed. So those drogue parachutes and those cargo chutes are packed up here. So one of you asked me if they pack their own shoes. So it's a communal packing. So if you'll notice behind me, there's just a line of pre-packed parachutes that are ready to be grabbed and jumped at a moment's notice. So everybody on base base knows how to pack. At some point in time, you're gonna pack. Somebody's probably gonna jump one of the parachutes that you packed. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be you.
Okay.
So part of rookie training. Average it's about 45 minutes. The shortest time I've heard is about 35. Anywhere from that to like an hour. Most people take about 45 minutes. The round parachutes take just a little bit longer to pack. They're a little bit more complicated.
Whoa, that fast forward? No, that's it.
Yeah. Do you guys have any other questions?
Travel. Yeah. Just cycles like that.
These are the two that we jump out of here, but there's a few other planes around the country that we have to be familiar with. So, we take about 10 on at a time. We'll go ahead and take a seat on those blue seats all the way on the right. There you go. You're already sweating by the time you get out of the building. So that's not a big deal. All of our food and Pulaskis and sleeping bags will be in the boxes here. Chainsaws, the water that we drink will be under the seats. All the jumpers are going to go out the side door, but then we're going to drop the back door and have the cargo go out that way. We have two spotters. You have a spotter standing here, and your assistant spotter will stand there. They're kind of like the jump masters. They're going to give you your commands, make sure pick out select jump spot selection, stuff like that. We have two pilots that'll be flying up front. We jump from 3,000. I'm sure she probably mentioned that. 3,000 feet. And we always go out in pairs. So you have you and your jump partner. So it's going to be two, two, two. And if it's just one tree, we'll just throw two people at it. They'll go take care of it and be back. If we need the whole load, we're taking all 10. If we need more, we'll come back, get more. Keep coming back until we run out, and we'll get it from somewhere else. So, yeah.
All right, so never jump.
Sure.
I don't know. I've scuba dived, but never jumped. So when you're out and you're popping your chute,
Yep.
how much stress is involved there?
The snatch force is a lot less than it used to be because of the slider. There's this piece of fabric that comes down the lines, reduces that. Back in the 60s and 50s, they'd be knocked unconscious under canopy.
Yeah, because I wonder about it. I see your gear, whiplash or something bizarre like that.
If you get a hard opening, it sucks. Yeah. But the technology's gotten so much better since the 40s and 50s and 60s that that's not really the issue anymore. But yeah, back in the day. This is static line for the drogue. That's that smaller parachute. We're out 5 seconds and you have to pull your main.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. The round parachutes, once you left static line deployed it, you're good to go. But,
I have a question about your pilots. Are they employed by your?
they're Forest Service
teams?
employees.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is all they do.
For this plane. That plane's a contract plane. So that pilot works for
So you always
private
have
company.
pilots on duty, just the same way like you're on call.
Yep.
So they're ready to go.
Yep, they're sitting in the pilot room or reading a book or something. But as soon as we get the call, their props are rolling. They're ready to go.
Do you have other planes in the fleet in this facility that actually help suppress the fire, like kind of land on the
so they would be. They're not really related to us.
Okay.
But like the retardant planes,
Yeah.
the red stuff they throw, they'll come fill up over here at the tanker base. But we can call them as well. So we're about to go and we say, yep, I want 2 retardant planes. I want the scoopers. I want helicopters, whatever I need.
Where do those usually deploy from?
They just move around the
Okay.
the regional people use them. It's like chess. You're trying to put everybody in position that you think weather's going to come or you think fires are going to happen. So sometimes they're wrong, but they get pretty good at it. But, any other questions? Cool.
High winds, you don't jump.
Say that again.
High wind, you don't jump.
Depends on the spot. We'll jump, 1,000 yards of drift. It'd have to be a pretty big spot. If we're going into timber, you need it to be a little bit calmer just to deal with what could happen. But if you're jumping a real big flat field somewhere, you can jump. I'd say you probably cut it off around 1,200 yards of drift. 1,500 would have to be a massive spot. Landing backwards isn't that much fun.
Yeah, right.
Cool.
That's a lot smaller plane. Smaller range. Fewer jumpers. I think that bigger one holds 10 jumpers. I believe that's a fire retardant over there.